Nupur Kumari is incredibly accomplished. She's a businesswoman, an entrepreneur, and has worked or traveled in over 25 countries. That's just scratching the surface. On the board of directors at Asian Women of Winnipeg, Kumari utilizes her skills and knowledge to support others in her community. Let's get into it. My name is Nupur Kumari. I am delivery executive at Capgemini, which is a global IT consulting firm, and currently I'm managing a multi-million portfolio for leading Canadian insurer. Wow, impressive. I'm graduated in computer science and did my MBA in finance from India's Ivy League college named NITI in Mumbai. I have either traveled or worked in around 25 countries, 4 continents, and bring that global exposure to my work, whether professionally and for community. And while traveling, I got this knack for learning new languages. During this pandemic time, I enrolled myself for Mandarin. I was always fascinated to learn one of the toughest language, so I can communicate. I just need to brush up sometime. Well, either way, that's incredibly impressive. Certainly. We'll talk more, I guess, on that. So along with Mandarin, I can also communicate in English, Hindi, Punjabi, and Haryanvi. These are some of the regional languages or the official languages where I grew up. And I'm actively engaged in community. I traveled from India to UK to Canada, so I was awarded Changemaker Award in India while I built a volunteering team from scratch for my company. And then in UK, we raised funds for autism concern, Crohn's and colitis through many community spirit grants. And right now in Canada, I'm a board director of Asian Women of Winnipeg and communications director at my local White Ridge Community Center. So that's how my journey has been from, Asia to Europe to North America. Well, your portfolio is incredibly impressive. Like what you meant, it was 25 different countries that you've worked in? Either worked, traveled, or lived. Recently, we did visit South America in, I guess, 11 days. We caught 13 flights, touched down 14 cities, and covered almost 6-7 countries. And I guess that's my passion as well, where, when you travel, you are not just traveling for the sake of traveling. You understand how people behave in different culture, what you gained from their culture, or what are the similarities. And that, for me, break the barrier when I have to do any conversation with my diverse teams. Now, that may be at work or that may be at community side of things. And as you know, Canada is full of diverse cultures. So diverse. And it is very rightly said that, when you know better, you do better. Mm-hmm. So this is my way through traveling of knowing people better so that I can do better for my community. And from someone who never travels, I hate getting on a plane. There's just something about it. But I wish I had that passion to go and visit places, to get out. I'm such a homebody. I like to just, stay in my little space, and there I'm content. Yeah, and I guess sometimes you get that feel, you sometimes get overwhelmed and you just want to be there wherever you are living or working. But I guess I enjoy, and that is happening through my work as well, and through my personal passion as well. As you mentioned, it's so fulfilling being able to actually go. It's different than having living in Canada, having a bunch of people move here and you get to experience just a fraction of their culture, of themselves. But when you go to the place, you can experience all of it, right? Right. And what I have learned is no matter, whether I traveled in the remote areas of Patagonia, a city called El Calafate, just 1,000 kilometers away from Antarctica, or whether I am in my native city of Kathal, which is in Haryana in India, or my home here in Winnipeg, people are all same. We do behave similarly. It might be just some diverse flavor, right? Things we bring, which should definitely be the asset. The other day I was reading my Asian Women of Winnipeg magazine that we published last year, and our advisory chair, Pam Robello, eminent personality here in Manitoba. So she did quote from a best-selling author that, this diversity is somehow bringing an unconscious racial panic. But it should actually be our biggest asset. And that I can truly agree to by traveling, different places and understanding different culture, that diversity is our biggest asset. But the problem we see, because when I even volunteer at community center, we collaborated with certain schools, and what I am hearing these days is that with the growing diversity in our neighborhood, in our school, or in Winnipeg, or in general in Canada, there is a pressing need to educate people. And that, I guess, work both ways. We need to tell about our culture and educate about our values, but we also need to learn from the culture in which we are amalgamating, right?
Yes.
We are carrying a lot of cultural values where we are raised, but when you are migrating to a new country, you have to certainly amalgamate, and that amalgamation can only happen when we have platforms. So, taking it to Asian Women of Winnipeg, that's one of the platform where we incorporated 7 years back in 2016 with the aim of promoting and educating and empowering women. And now, after 7 years, if I look back and if I reflect on whether we achieved that goal or not, I guess we certainly surpassed that. We have many eminent personalities, or especially women, who have made their mark, like Isha Khan, who is CEO of Canadian Museum for Human Rights, Pam Ravello, Executive Director of Indian School of Dance, Rita Chahal, who is again Executive Director for MDM, that's Mood Disorder Association of Manitoba.
Yeah, we've talked with Rita a couple of times. She's amazing.
Yeah, and then our president, Sharon Tapia, who has conceptualized this Asian Women of Winnipeg, and now she has taken it too far that we, as a new board member, feel so proud about this association, and then how we have been doing so much for these women. And especially now we have women who have made their mark, but there are lot many women whom we are working on the ground who still face day-to-day challenges. No matter whether you want to migrate or not to a new country, it's not easy. It's not easy. I mean, and especially when it comes to women, what we have seen on the ground is there is a language barrier. Then you have to raise your kids in a way that they should also carry your values, but they also need to gel into this new culture.
That's one thing that we've been seeing when talking with various different cultural associations, trying to find that balance of how do you maintain kind of your culture and heritage and specifically language while having your children embrace and become part of a new community, and finding the balance between those two so that they can fit in and make friends here, but at the same time not forget about their culture, their history, as well as the language. Because I know for my family, it really quickly, we lost our language. My grandparents speak Plotdeutsch, so Low German. Basically the difference between like Quebecois French and then France French. So difference between High German, so Germany and the places surrounding there, then Low German is just this kind of language that evolves where Mennonites have lived.
It's very good that you did mention about language, because when I was going through your Multicultural website and knowing a bit more about this organization, I kind of stick to that tagline, that preserve your language. And I can very well resonate to that, because when you learn new language, and I was talking about this Mandarin, it certainly opens a window. Very naturally, you glide into someone else's culture and you feel like it's your own. And that I'm telling from my own experience. I celebrated Chinese New Year like it's my own New Year, or I celebrated Mid Autumn Festival like, oh, this is me. And that certainly broke that barrier of, me being from Indian heritage or someone else from a Chinese heritage. We were like, Asian, Canadian. And preserving language is also important, because when even kids learn new languages, it stimulates the mental development. It increases the ability to focus more, and it increases your ability to memorize more. So I personally advocate learning new language, preserving and preserving the languages which are on the verge of extinction, from both ways, from development of mind for youth, and then from preserving our culture. So it is one of the strongest tool, I believe, to break any cultural barriers, and then at the same time you are gaining from your mental
Oh,
development.
I 100% agree. As someone who only speaks English, I understand how much of a challenge that can be sometimes. Because, maybe if I would have tried a little bit harder in school for at least French, the advantages that would have brought, and for any, yes, being able to know a different language, you get that piece of that culture, you get to understand it as you're mentioning it a little bit more than just watching it from the outside.
The other important aspect, it opened the new employment opportunities. I was just seeing that with my English, Hindi, and Mandarin, I could almost communicate to half of the world's population, around, I guess, 3 billion people. If I know these three languages, and the way the economies are growing, if you know the language, it certainly opens many opportunities. Right. So, yeah, I guess whenever we talk about these cultures or diversity or language, we need to look things holistically as well. That it's not just the lingo, or the need, or just the thing which will fade away.
There's practical elements to it as well.
There are practical elements, and then look just holistically how you yourself can grow by knowing others. And when we have these many platforms, why don't we should take advantage of it for your own good and for the good of your community.
For Asian Women of Winnipeg, what sort of events and things or stuff that you were promoting during this month?
Yeah, so in general, we have couple of our events that we do around the year. So we started with this Lodi Mela that we did in January, which is like our flagship event, and it's a festival of new beginnings. It welcomes any new wed couple or newborn child. So that we did in January, and then we gradually celebrated our Women's Day during March. And now with Asian Heritage Month that's celebrated in May, we will be coming up with lot many educational seminars that are already lined up. But I love this idea, because Asia is one of the largest continent with 51 countries in it. And we, as from Asian heritage, has lot more to even learn from the Asian culture. Now with this Asian Heritage Society, which is fostering, the partnership within these Asian communities, and then their amalgamation into Canadian mosaic, that is really beautiful. So that way you can learn about your own Asian culture, and you can then promote to our Canadian mosaic. So these are some of the events we did in past or we are doing in future. And on Saturday, we through Asian Heritage Society of Manitoba, we have this cultural performances on CN stage in Forks. There'll be food stalls, food trucks, craft and artisans stalls. So it's a free event. Everyone is welcome. So I wish all the listeners to come, enjoy, know about each other a bit better, and just have fun.
Yeah, I had Zhe Young here just a little while ago talking about Asian Heritage Month and the Asian Heritage Society of Manitoba, and we talked about so many cool things that take place. And yeah, you're right. With over 50 countries, it can be hard to give everyone an opportunity to shine during just a short month.
Yeah, and that's the reason we, at least from Asian Women of Winnipeg, and I'm sure even the Asian Heritage Society, we do events around the year. I guess May is recognized as Asian Heritage Month, where we have more activities than any other months. But in general, our activities are spanned across the year. And if anyone is looking to be involved or volunteer with us through Asian Women of Winnipeg, reach out to us through our website www.asianwomenofwinnipeg.com or through our social media channels. We would love to, involve if anyone is interested or to partner with any organization the same way we have this association with Asian Heritage Society. So we have been doing great. We reflected on what we started as our goal that we have been achieving as well, with these eminent ladies making their mark and with new immigrants who are seeking help. So we are there for everyone, not just women, to help and to grow together.
Building that community together.
Yeah, that's absolutely, yeah.
So, what are some other things that Asian Women of Winnipeg does? I mean, you mentioned connecting with other organizations to host events and sort of things, but on the ground level, what sort of things do you do?
That's a very good question. So, what happens? Yes, we have seen many women making their marks, but there is so much to do. So, on day to day, what we have seen is many women struggle with challenges like these language barrier, or they are very small sized entrepreneurs. So, what we are doing is that we are connecting with those women who are taking their business to a next level, or who need some help on either uh, on the language side of things, or in order to understand the social, economic, or financial fabric of Canada. So, on those all different areas, we are conducting seminars. There'll be soon a list of those seminars. And then also, when we do these events like Women's Day or Lodi Mela, we do invite these women entrepreneurs to showcase what they are doing in their business, and we are promoting their businesses and also helping financially sometimes by raising funds. So these are some of the ways where we are helping women to grow, build their business, break the barriers if they feel any on the language aspect of things, or even if they, or what, personally, if I say, women sometimes get so engrossed into, raising kids or taking care of families that they don't even see the need of getting out and to just feel themselves. So I guess through these all events, women are coming out. They are feeling more confident than ever. They are, being proud of themselves as
Giving them opportunities
Canadians.
to shine,
Yeah.
right?
So and there they feel like valued. And many of our events are free, so it opens the platform for a wider community. For example, Lodi was attended by over 2,000 people,
Wow.
and we had major participation from women. So just look at the diaspora that we had there, who feel themselves valued to be celebrated together. And then we have these seminars where we are helping these cultural barriers to go away, and then helping on their economic stability and promoting entrepreneurs. So these are some of the ways we are doing through our Asian Women of Winnipeg.
As an entrepreneur, like if you started a business or something in your home country and then you come to Canada, potentially that's like a completely different like ways you have to approach it. And I guess for yourself, you have such experience in so many different countries, like you have such a wealth of knowledge that it's like the perfect position to be a part of Asian Women of Winnipeg to help out new entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I guess I always say, learn, earn, and return. So this is my time when I am returning to community back through the skills I acquired. Now that may be on the professional side of things. So I take care of IT department of Asian Women of Winnipeg, or my community center, or helping women in general on any of the aspects they feel the need to be. So yeah, so that's my little effort back to the community. And I you know tell everyone that in whatever capacity and in whatever corner of the world they are, they should try to return in some form to our community. I guess when we are strong, we feel good, and we have this common responsibility to help each other, especially in the post-pandemic times when we had seen major economic setbacks and how we have become kind of secluded. So we need these efforts stronger than ever to bring our communities stronger and richer.
For someone who is an entrepreneur, coming here in Canada. You mentioned language barriers. What are some of those other hurdles that are some of the hardest to overcome when trying to start a business here?
Especially for women, if I talk about, the major hurdle they see is to find the right audience. So let's say when we did Lodi, we had almost like 15 entrepreneurs showcasing, what they are trying to sell as a product or service. And I didn't know about them. And I was looking for those entrepreneurs. I was wishing that I would know, but because of the lack of, investment you have to do in promoting, in advertisement, you don't get to know these entrepreneurs. But with they being there at Lodi and with 2,000 people, they get kind of a free advertisement about their product. So the major challenge which these women were facing about how to get advertised and how to find the right
finding the audience. Yeah.
So that's the key thing which they did. And the second thing is sometimes, the ways to raise funds. So every country has its own set of rules or its own fabric on how you raise funds, right? We heard about venture capitalists, but these women have not gone to that level of raising funds. But yes, there are many grants that government support. There are many organizations that look for these entrepreneurs. So we also try to connect these women with the right support or with the aid they could get either from the government organization or from many non-profit. So I guess these are some of the challenges which we have been working, and I guess we need to work more as well, as we have now a bigger community of women entrepreneurs.
So one of the big things you've been talking about is, once you find success, continuing to give back so that we can continue to grow the community forward. So if someone is in a place and they want to help out, where can they go or what can they do to help out Asian women of Winnipeg?
So anything. So whatever you are doing, for example, I met Sharon. And it was serendipity. I relocated in Canada in 2018. In 2019, January, I attended this Lodi event and I was fascinated by magnanimity of that event. It held in RBC and with again around 2,000 people attended even in that year. So I wanted to connect with her, but then pandemic happened. I couldn't. But then we met at one of the community functions, and I just reached out to her that I am in IT. Can I help you? Because I see that the way they were growing, they need to, take their IT infrastructure to another level as well. So same thing, if anyone is doing anything in their profession, they could always come back,
bring their expertise
to the table. Even beyond that, they can also volunteer with us. So for these all events now, that may be Lodi or Women's Day or our educational seminars, we need volunteers. So it's not just a professional skill we need more hands as well.
Hands on deck.
Right. So you can just write to us at noporatasianwomenofwinnipeg.com, or you can reach out through our social media channels, either for a volunteering for any event or, part of any of the committees that we have, which may be the fundraising, or other cultural committee where we sometimes need to go out and connect with many entertainment group. So any area of either your expertise or of your passion, or we can even have an open dialogue of where someone could be a good fit. So these are the ways where people can contribute. It's not a rocket science. It's just simply connecting with us
finding what skills you can help out.
Right. And these are the ways which sometimes we feel, are we adding value? But I can certainly say that every little effort counts. So in whatever capacity, in whatever skill, in whatever way, if you are willing, do reach out.
Well, especially anyone who's willing to donate their free time to help out an organization, that's incredibly valuable.
Yeah, and also if someone want to donate financially, that channel is open as well, because we could leverage those funds then to help, our other programs where we have been helping women. So any way now, either through volunteering, through organizing an event, through your any professional skills, or through financial aid, we are happy to connect.
What are some other events, like you mentioned one that's going to be happening on Saturday, but when we're looking at the rest of the year, what are some things that are coming up for Asian Women of Winnipeg?
There will be some more events that we can call as a community events in the summer, or maybe a similar form of a Mother's Day event that we would gonna do, and then there'll be a seminars that would going to soon come up. Also, we do volunteer at Siloam Mission, so that is still gonna happen. And if anyone has any idea, we would love to hear about that.
Like another way for people to give back,
Yeah.
helping build those ideas.
Yeah, so tell us what you want to see from this organization. Where do you want to involve yourself? If you want to pick up an event you see that has a value, we would help organizing that. Personally, when I talk about these educational seminars, there will be some on mental health, but there will be some on IT space. So it will be an initiative where we will be helping our older generation to get bit,
Helping with like
the
technological and
technology, exactly.
computer literacy.
Yes, that's the right term. So I am very keen on those sessions. I have seen the way we have been working has drastically changed, but people are yet to pick up. So I'll be starting with very basic ones on making your Facebook account or your Instagram account, and how you can find these communities there, how you can send requests. Very basic things for us, but maybe a very value add for someone who is not very well averse with the technology.
Even just a little bit of computer literacy skills can go a long way, especially if you're trying to get into the workforce and you're not familiar with computers or even how to just send an email. It is like meeting with my grandparents at times,
Yeah.
trying to walk them through things. It's like a completely different world sometimes. And even with newer generations, there's things coming up that I don't even get right now. And it's just things developed really quickly. So
Yeah, if you pick any community organization today, what we do as a first step is to go to their website to find the contact us session, to send an email, and then visit their Facebook page, Instagram page. And there is nothing else because everything is happening digitally. So I guess again there is a need for all the generations to get a bit of digital literacy or the computer literacy to make their day-to-day work easier.
And I mean, that also helps protect individuals in the long run, right? Like with scams and everything, how easy it can be to just accidentally click on an email because you didn't look at like the URL to see what the email was coming from. It's like, oh no, my bank account they need me to send information, but then it's like ABC1111 at a domain that you have never seen before.
That's very true. And I guess that's an interesting idea. I mean, starting with the basic skills, and then you can naturally move into the areas where we need to be a bit more cautious. And I guess that's a interesting area where I could expand one of my seminars to talk specifically about the suspicious activity and the phishing activity. These are some of the terms we use in IT.
Yeah, those are things that you have to be so vigilant at times because you accidentally click something, there goes your computer.
Yeah, with rising scams, I don't know, sometimes a very even digitally literate person could be a victim. So it's good idea now with our communities doing everything digitally. We need to be a bit more cautious of these attacks. So but we are good.
So there's a lot of things people can learn from, and there's so many potential ideas people can bring to Asian Women of Winnipeg. So many different workshops or seminars or things that people who have the expertise can bring to the table.
Exactly. Yes, we are always short of people. We need more hands. And yes, it's called Asian Women of Winnipeg, but we do take care of women in general. So you need not to be from Asian heritage. You could be any women or men. Volunteering doesn't put any barriers on any aspect. So everyone is welcome to involve with us, come with your ideas, and if we see the feasibility of it, run the show.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I'm really excited to talk with other members of the group.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they couldn't come this week. It's their busy schedule,
It's a
but
busy
I'm sure
time.
I'm excited to hear about them as well.
Have any stories you'd like us to share or communities we should highlight? Leave a comment on our social media or reach out to us on our website. I'm Ryan Funk. This was You Talk. And have yourself a good one.